So my question is, why do we struggle so much to love God? A huge reason is because we can't see Him and feel Him. You struggle with the ones you can see. What about the one you can't see? Because you can't see Him, and then you step into life, and just in one day come different problems, issues, this, that, and then you're supposed to be somehow find Him in this, all this. It's hard. We can't see Him. And the fact that we can't see Him makes it hard for us in our humanness. You have to catch the words here. Do you think you can love the Lord the way you think you're supposed to? Do you think you can? I can't. I'm failing big time. Do you feel guilty? I feel guilty big time. We struggle because in my mind, I cannot love Him the way I'm supposed to. Honestly, think about that. Why is that? Now, what does the Bible say? What is the greatest commandment? Love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind and soul, and then love your neighbor as yourself, which is the second. I'm like, how can we get to the second when you can't pass the first? Why do I struggle so much to love the Lord, my God, the way I think I'm supposed to? It is there in that statement. Why we struggle. In that word was the way I think I'm supposed to. That's where we fail. Why is that? As a human being, I know how I want to be loved. Yes? Every one of us wants to be loved. And as human beings, I have a way or I have a mindset that says, if this happens to me, then I feel loved. Yes? Are you tracking with me today? It's like I feel if this happens, if God does this for me, or God does this for me, or God makes me feel like it, then I feel loved. Then at the same time, we go into relationships. I don't know, for me, I can say, if Dinu does this for me, or Dinu does that for me, at the same time, I feel loved. If my children do this for me, if my children do that for me, then I feel loved. I'm just talking about my inner circle. God, wife, children for me. In my inner circle, I feel loved if these three categories do this for me, right? And that's how I feel loved. Now, my problem is, I think I need to love the Lord with that mentality, with that system, that I need to love God like that. And I know I struggle to live up to the way I want to be loved. And therefore, I feel guilty that I can't love God the way I think He ought to be loved. Now catch that. So firstly, let me tell you this. God doesn't need our love. It's a little complicated. Why do I say that? You think God needs our love? No. Why? Because God is love. Thank you. God is love. He doesn't need love. Please track with me. He is love. 1 John chapter 4 says, for God is love. And those who don't love don't know God. But then, why Jesus? Why would you say the greatest commandment is to love God? Oh, come on, this is complicated now. Why would He tell us then to love? If He is love, He doesn't need love. My understanding and revelation is when to love Him with all my heart, soul, mind and strength is actually a posture. It's not doing this. And for us, it's very hard to understand. Because in our humanness, from the time we are little infants, we were taught to love means to do A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And then that person feels love. Correct? And we're saying that to our own children, not realizing how guilty we make them feel. Because what do we feel? We feel guilty because we can't love the way we want to be loved. And we think that's the way. But we must understand God doesn't need our love. So I don't have to apply my standards of love to Him. So then why did He tell us to love Him? Because when He tells me, love me with your whole being, that means you will be totally looking unto me. And in that place, I can love you.